Yo, what is up, guys? It is Gravy here, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video, alright? Obviously, I'm making a tier list of the zombie maps, alright? Now, Danky did one of these, and I'm probably gonna put it in my description once he makes it. And I want to see how different ours is. So I did mine without even looking at his, so I get an unbiased opinion. I'm not going to be doing not Treyarch ones, because screw that. So I'm just going to add like a new row called like not, why is it typing backwards? You know what, that's okay. Not Treyarch. There we go. Why did that go backwards? Alright, I don't want to know. There we go. Not Treyarch backwards. Alright, so let's get right into this, alright? I'm just going to be going in order, alright? Number 1, Shi No Numa. This map is interesting. If we're just talking about the World at War one, it's very easy. Very, very easy. Which can be a good or a bad thing. The atmosphere is a little... As a flogger trap, which is kind of cool. I'm going to try to not let nostalgia get in the way of this. So I'm going to have to put this in a... Wait, why does it go C, F, and then D? Okay, I'll just do that. I'm going to have to put it in a D tier for now. Because there's not much to it. No Pack-a-Punch. Like, the Wonder Weapon is the Wonder Waff, which is very generic. The mud is kind of annoying everywhere. And there's just not much element to it. Which, I mean, if you look back on it, it is one of the first maps, so it's not really its fault. But, like I said, I'm not going to let nostalgia get in the way. And I'm going to give them all a fair fight. And I don't think that this is that good. Number 2, Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil is a masterpiece. I love it. It has great atmosphere. It isn't hard, but it isn't easy. The Apothecon Servant, though it's very overpowered, it of course has not that much ammo, so you run out quickly. And as long as you're not using overpowered gobblegums, it can be a pretty challenging map, especially to get very high rounds on. The Easter egg does require 4 players, which I don't like, but that's okay. Because that means 4 good players, and my friend group is not too good. I'm not going to say anything about that, but yeah, Shadows of Evil, I'm going to have to put it, honestly, in S tier. I think it's a great map. The Bloodhound and the Bootlegger, and I think it was just a great start to a game. Now, like, if this released in, like, Black Ops 2 or something, I don't think it would have been that good. I think it released at the perfect time, and yeah, that's my opinion on Shadows. Number 2, Ascension. Ascension, for the longest time, was my favorite map of all time. But I'm going to make it fair. I'm going to give my unbiased opinion. Ascension is really easy. Too easy. It is way too easy. It has a Thunder Gun, which is very overpowered. And, like, every space is an open space. You can train anywhere, basically, on the map and not die. It has a lot. PhD Flopper and the Mustang and Sally's made it just really overpowered. But personally, I think being overpowered is fun, you know? It's just a map where you don't want to try really hard. You just want to hop on and have fun. And I think that's good. So I'm going to have to place Ascension. I might change this later, but for now, honestly, Ascension's getting A tier. I think it's great. As the trap, the sickle, which, I mean, isn't really that interesting, but I think it's cool. There is one thing holding this map back from being S tier, and that is the monkeys. We don't like the monkeys. I like monkeys, not Ascension monkeys. They bad. Ancient Evil. Alright. I'm a little biased against Black Ops 4 maps. I hate Black Ops 4. The engine's terrible. Perk engine sucks. The elixir's terrible. The specialist weapon sucks. The perks, especially, I'm gonna emphasize this. The perk system is shit. But Ancient Evil, I feel like was probably, I'll just do these together, and 9. I feel like these two maps, I'd say these two maps are the only good things that came out of Black Ops 4. These two maps are shockingly not bad. Especially, most people don't know about Ancient Evil because it came out later and nobody played it after it came out. But 9 came out when it first came out, and everybody was like, wow, this game is terrible, but 9 is okay. And I agree with that. I think 9 is probably tied with Ancient Evil as the best map in the game. But again, they're Black Ops 4, so the best map does not mean a good map, right? Ancient Evil had a lot going for it with the gauntlets and the bosses. The Pegasus, that was kind of cool. But I'm still going to have to put it in, like, C tier. Because I can not see myself playing this over Ascension or Shadows. Maybe over Shi No Numa, though. So that's why I'm going to put it in C. And I'm just going to put 9 right behind it. Because I think 9's a little bit less good than Ancient Evil. But that's just my opinion. Next up, this map. This map, F tier. It's hard. This map is very hard. The corridors are really tiny, and it's just really hard. Okay, so you don't want to play a really hard map, right? Okay, so let's look at another really hard map, like Verrückt. No. Like Shangri-La. Alright. These two maps are infamously hard, right? Shangri-La is very hard, right? And Voyage of Despair is probably just as hard. Except, obviously, it's the Black Ops 4 engine, so obviously it's a little easier. But here's the main difference, is Shangri-La has amazing atmosphere, good characters, obviously. The Easter egg's really good. The boss zombies are perfect. The monkeys are funny. It's just a really good map. Like, everything about Shangri-La, I think, is amazing. Shangri-La is a very you love it or you hate it kind of map. And I'm definitely the kind that loves it. I love Shangri-La, but I'm going to have to put Shang probably in A tier, right next to Ascension. I think it is a masterpiece of a map, despite it being hard. Now let's look at Voyage of Despair. Very hard again, except atmosphere, terrible. The weapons, terrible. Like nobody knows what that wonder weapon is. I think it's called like the Kraken or something like that. It's terrible. Nobody wants that. Drag sucks. It's on the Titanic, which is the only thing kind of going for it, but it fails because it's bad. It's just really bad. And I honestly cannot think of a single good thing about Voyage of Despair, which is why it's getting F tier. It's terrible. I just wanted to put these together to show that a hard map does not mean bad map. It can be a good map, but they just did it terribly in this. Next up, this one's probably a little controversial. Call of the Dead, I think, is massively overrated. I'm not a big fan of Call of the Dead at all. Now, the reason I'm saying this is mostly because I'm not letting nostalgia get in the way. Of course, I remember Call of the Dead having fun on it and, you know, having the scavenger and stuff. But let's look at it. Let's look at it now, okay? The wonder weapons are terrible. The scavenger is very bad. Despite it being unique, it's still very bad. The VR-11, like, what is that? Dude, that gun is so bad. That does nothing. Like, whatever. George Romero, sure, he's kind of cool, but he's a terrible boss. We're not even going to talk about the fog on that map to make it where you can't, like, see shit. I feel like if Call of the Dead was remastered, kind of like of Black Ops 4, Tog der Toten, but it was like the BO3 engine, I think it would have been really good. But I just think it's because there's Black Ops 1, made it bleak, dull, and just, I'm not a big fan of Call of the Dead, I'm gonna be honest. So I'm gonna have to put it in C tier, above Ancient Evil. I'd still rather play it than these two maps, I'd say. Nuketown, is very much so also you either love it or you hate it. I'm definitely more towards love it because it is a simple experience. It's no Easter egg, no wonder weapon except for like the Mark II, I guess. Perks are random and pack a punch is random, which I guess can be okay if you're just casually playing, but it's still not a great map. It's definitely not fit for zombies. Nuketown is definitely a multiplayer map. Um, I'm glad this map was made, but I'm still not a big fan of it. So I'm gonna have to put it below Shinonuma because I'd rather play Shinonuma than this. Because at least, uh, actually no, I'll put it right above Shinonuma because I still think it's good, but I don't know. They both have the same flaws. They're both kind of dull, both kind of short, not much to them, but I still think Nuketown is a good map. I'd still I'd hop on Black Ops 2 to play it. I just wouldn't go out of my way to play it like out of every other map probably. So this map, obviously it's an S tier. Nikolai is probably the best character out of the main four. It's about him and there's big dragons flying around. Like, that's cool as shit. The Easter egg is very hard, but it's really good, right? It is an experience. Like, killing the dragon and killing Nikolai, it was such a fun Easter egg. I think it might have been my favorite Easter egg to do out of all of Black Ops 3. Which is why it's getting S tier. I'd say it doesn't quite amount to Shadows of Evil. Like, the Manglers kind of suck. And it's very hard, which can be a good thing, but also it's not exactly a great thing, you know? Shadows, I think, is a perfect combination of everything. And Gorod, I think it is right under it. I think it is also a masterpiece. Next up, we have Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead is interesting. It is a completely unique map, completely different characters. I don't exactly know what relevance it has in the story. I know they showed it in Blood of the Dead, but I didn't do any of the Easter eggs for Black Ops 4. Fuck that game. But Mob of the Dead is very interesting. I love Mob of the Dead. Afterlife was so fun. It was such an experience. I love it. And the Warden is like a perfect boss zombie. What else is there? The Blundergat and the Acid Gat, perfect wander weapon. Perfect to the sense where it isn't completely busted, but it also isn't useless, like the Winter's Howl or something like that. I just think this map has honestly no flaws. I wouldn't change a single thing about this map. Every other map on this, I'd probably change something, but if I'm being honest, Mob of the Dead, I wouldn't change a single thing, which is why it is number 1. Classified. Okay. I'm a little biased towards this because 5 is one of my favorite maps of all time. But that's mostly because of nostalgia. I'm going to try to not let that get in the way, okay? Classified is 5, but better. But also on a worse engine, which is why I think they're kind of tied. Because this has more elements, and I do think it would be better. If this was on like Black Ops 3 or 2 or 1 or whatever, it'd be better than 5. But since it's on Black Ops 4 engine, that makes it slightly worse, I believe. It was one of my favorites of all time because of nostalgia. Looking back on it, it's not that good. The Pentagon Thief sucks. Though I like him, and I think they should have brought him back for Classified because he's like goofy. It's bad. He's a terrible thing. It's a very tight cornered map. It's probably just as hard as Shangri-La, except this one you don't have a really good wonder weapon. Shangri-La has one of the best wonder weapons of all time. And 5 has a Winter's Howl, which is probably the second worst of all time, right behind the jet gun. It's very bad. It does like nothing. On Classified, they made it a little better. They made it good, I'm pretty sure, but it's still not amazing. Though I think they're really close. I do think the engine sets it back enough to where I'd want it behind these two, and I'd want this one in front. So that's my opinion on that. Next up, Buried. Buried, I'm kind of a fanboy for Buried. I think it's really fun. It's very easy map, very easy map. But like I said, for Ascension, easy can be fun. It has the Paralyzer, which is overpowered as hell. It has all those traps, which are overpowered as hell. It has those ghosts that give you free perks, which is overpowered as hell. It has Vulture Raid, which is overpowered as hell. The Bank, the Chalk, so that you get more money. Like, Leroy, he's funny. Like, everything about this map is overpowered. I haven't done the Easter egg for it yet. We were going to do a series on all the BL2 Easter eggs soon. But I don't really have a comment on the Easter egg because I haven't done it. But I think Buried is probably one of the best maps of all time. I do think it is amazing. It has a lot more elements to it, which makes it unique and very fun experience. So I'm gonna have to put it probably right below Ascension. That's probably what I think it is. Buried is like the only good map that wasn't produced by Jason Blundell in Black Ops 2, because spoiler alert, Transit and oh, they split it up into Farm, Diner, and whatever. Transit and Die Rise are not high on the list at all. But next up we got Der Riese. Okay, for nostalgia reasons, I'd put it right here probably, but like I said it, like I've been saying this whole video, I'm not gonna let nostalgia get in the way. Der Riese is not that good. It introduced Pack-a-Punch, which was good at the time, but looking back, like every map other than past that also had Pack-a-Punch, so it doesn't make it that special. As the Wunderwaffe, which in World at War had that glitch that took away Jug, so that was just not good. As the Catwalk, which is very infamous. I think this is a good map to where you don't play the game that much. You just want to hop on with all your friends and just get to around like 20 and then die and then have fun. That's what I think this map is good for. It's just a good classic zombies experience. And I think the Giant, when it remastered in I'm assuming that's not on here. Oh, no, it's a completely different thing. Okay, so I guess I won't go into that yet. I'll do this one next. I think Der Riese is slightly better than the Giant, but that's just personal preference. It has less elements, but I still think the guns and stuff is what made Der Riese good, and which is why I think I'm gonna just put it in B tier. The Giant, I'm gonna put right behind it probably. I think the Giant really emphasized the whole like classic zombies experience. When it released with Shadows, it was a good comparison because you had the complicated map with octopuses and whatever, and then we had the Giant, which is just a simple catwalk, just shoot zombies and then you die map. Verrückt is Shi No Numa, but very tight rooms, and yeah, it's not that good. Yeah, no, I'm gonna put it like that. Tag der Toten, I think, is a little bit better than Verrückt, but not as good as Shi No Numa, which isn't really saying much. I feel like it would have been good, but it just wasn't. Like, the Wunderwaffe was doo-doo. the golden pack, like, that was dumb. Whatever. The only reason it's good is because of the shitty Black Ops 4 engine. So, I just hate Black Ops 4 so much, if you can't tell. There's not much to it, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't like it. I just don't have fun when I'm on it. In Alpha Omega, I'm just gonna place this one right now, because it's mostly the same reasons, except it's slightly worse. Honestly, probably worse than Veroked. Like, there's just nothing to it. Like, it's just a cookie cutter of it, and then they added a couple extra things, and then called it a day. And, heck, I'll just get the rest of Black Ops 4 done. Blood of the Dead, even worse. It's just a cookie cutter, and then they added a couple extra elements which were unneeded, and then removed all the good elements, and then called it a day. That's what these 3 maps did. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna just place Veroked back up here. Yeah, very obvious that I don't like Black Ops 4, except for Revelations. This map kind of grew on me, I'm not gonna lie. I would have put this in, like, C tier, but it kind of grew on me. I kind of like it now. It's pretty unoriginal. It just took a bunch of old maps and slapped them together, but I think they did it so beautifully. Like, if they would have, like, arranged the maps in a different order, I feel like the map would have been terrible. I think they did a flawless job at that. With Noct in the middle, that's genius, and then the Apothicon part, which is kind of cool, but it's very easy. And this time, instead of the good kind of easy, it's the bad kind of easy. It's every part of the map is so open, and you have the Apothicon Servant and the Thunder Gun and Gobblegums because it's Black Ops 3, and you have the God Mask, which just makes it a cakewalk to get to round 100. Granted, it is a little hard to get. It's not really hard, it's just tedious to get it. Transit. I think it's pretty obvious that everybody shits on this map, calls it the worst map of all time. And then there's some people who are like, you know what, I don't actually think it's that bad. Looking back on it, I am not one of those people. I hate Transit with a burning passion. Denizens are terrible. Lava is terrible. Ted is terrible. The fucking propeller things are terrible. Avogadro's terrible. The Easter egg is terrible. The corn maze is terrible. That Noct part is terrible. The jet gun is terrible. I can go on. This map is terrible. Alright guys, this is Future Me. I just want to add a little something to this argument. A lot of people claim that Transit should be way higher, like A tier, because it was just a bad engine it was made on, and if it was made on like Black Ops 3, it'd be really good. Well, it wasn't made on a better engine, so I guess we'll never actually know, right? So there's no reason to place it higher because it could have been good, right? Because it wasn't. Also, even if it was made on a different engine and they got rid of avocados and everything, I mean, it still wouldn't have been that good. Let's be completely honest, guys. You're overhyping Transit. It is not that good. Even if you get rid of all the flaws, it'd still be like high C tier, maybe B tier. Like, it still wouldn't be amazing, alright? That's all. Here. I'd rather play Nuketown over it, but Shiina Onuma, nah. Maybe not Shiina Onuma. Shiina Onuma and Veroked is kind of bad. But yeah, Transit is not, actually, no, I think I'd rather play Shiina Onuma over it. It's just behind, the only thing behind it is Veroked. I think it's slightly better than Veroked. It doesn't have perks or anything, but that doesn't matter because Noct is actually kind of fun. Like, I'm not going to let nostalgia get in the way. I think it is a little more easy to actually play than Veroked. And I don't know what to say. I just like it better. I think the original Moon was missing just a little something from it being a masterpiece. And I think Black Ops 3 took that and made it a masterpiece. I think what it was missing is that it was very dull and kind of ugly. But that's just because there's Black Ops 1, you know? Black Ops 3 made it vibrant and beautiful. And after doing the moon Easter egg, which someone probably uploaded, probably Donnie, by the way, and seeing that Easter egg really put into perspective how great this map is. You start in Area 51, which is pretty innovative. I like that. But overall, I think this map is a masterpiece. I'd put it above Ascension. And yeah, I think that's a good place for it now. I'll move Shangri-La down to B tier. Next up, we have Kino der Toten. Most overrated map of all time. I'm saying it right now. The most overrated map of all time. I don't know. There's not much to it. Like, you have the reels, which is kind of stupid. I don't really have much to say. I just genuinely think it's overrated. I don't see myself hopping on Black Ops 1 just to be like, yes, I can't wait to play Kino der Toten. Like, I'd rather play Moon or Ascension or heck, even probably Shangri-La. I'm going to put it right under Shangri-La. Actually, no, I'll put it right above Shangri-La. I still think it's a good map. Because, just like Der Riese, it's a good classic zombies experience. Maybe if you don't want all that complicated, like Shangri-La, like, that's a very complicated map. So I get it. And Kino, yeah, I think it's pretty good. Put it above Shangri-La. Zetsubou no Shima. This map is the exact opposite. I think this is the most underrated map of all time. It is very tedious to do everything in this map, which is why it draws a lot of people away. I will admit, turning on power is like a very hard mental task to do, just to turn on power. And then Pack-a-Punch is also very tedious. The Wonder Weapon is very tedious, especially if you want to upgrade it. And the Easter egg is very RNG related, and man, they could have, this map had a lot of potential, I think, but they did kind of ruin it. I don't know how to describe it, because I can only think of the bad things. I can't really think of any good thing about it, but it is a good map. Like, planting the seeds are terrible, the Thrasher is terrible. The spiders, I think the spiders weren't that bad, but I still think it is a good experience, you know. I'd say it's probably not as good as Shangri-La, but probably better than Der Riese. And a lot of people might get mad at me for saying that, but that's okay. Next up, Town. I like Town. They took Transit's best stop, turned it into a map, and it's better than Transit. I'm probably going to put it right here, right below 5. I like it. It's a very good experience. It's kind of like Der Riese, but not as much elements, I feel like. So, because obviously it's just a little part of the map from Transit. But, you know, there's a lot of lava on the ground. I don't like that. I don't like lava. There's Tombstone, which is something. And there's not much to it, but I still think it is fun. Just hop on, play with your friends. I like it. Farm took the stop and made it terrible. I think, God, this is going to make me think I really hate Black Ops 4, because I do. I think it's still better than these maps, but it's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just terrible. Like, you just get this little area, and then it's like, oh, yep, good luck. And Buzz Depot is the exact same thing, except even worse, has less stuff. Yeah, there's no perks or Pack-a-Punch even on this map. Pretty sure this one at least has perks, but it only has turned. So, and it's just turned. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's kind of fun, I guess. I never go out of my way to play it, though. And yeah, I think that's good. This map, doo-doo. I'm gonna, before I talk about it, I'm just gonna place it right here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna place Diner above it. I'd rather play that zombie mode than Die Rise, because Die Rise, terrible. I don't care what you say. It had some redeeming qualities. I can think of one good thing about this map, alright? And that is the Wonder Weapon. The Soliquifier is kind of cool. Other than that, this map is terrible. The elevators suck. When they teased PhD, that was mean. Who's who? Who's who? Why did they add that? That was terrible. I don't really know what else to say about this. It's just very bad. Dead of the Night. Oh my god, I forgot about this map. I think I'd rather play it over Blood of the Dead. Probably. That's about it. There's literally nothing to say about that map. It is like it's shit. Like, I don't know what else to say. Anything else about that? Drak, masterpiece. I love this map. I love it so much. The bows is amazing. I love all of the bows. Love that. Everything about this map is amazing. I can't really think of a flaw. If I could change anything, it'd be maybe the Panzer's shock charges. Those are kind of annoying. I'd rather it just bring back its hook. Like, for example, like the fire bow step where you gotta like shoot it after the rocket leaves. You have to time that so perfectly. And if you accidentally miss, you gotta restart and wait for the rocket all over again, which takes a while. That's a little tedious. But other than that, I'd say it's probably better than even Shadows, because I feel like it has a lot better atmosphere. And the bows are cool, and Shadows, though I love this, like the I don't even know how to describe it, like city aesthetic, whatever. I love it, but it does feel a little cramped sometimes, even though it really is kind of open in most areas. It still feels cramped because of all like the buildings and stuff, which is why I think the aesthetics are a little bit better in Drak, and I just feel more comfortable when I play Drak, which is why I think it goes right there. Next up is Origins. Classic. 9 times out of 10, if someone makes a Zombies tier list and they're more than a casual player and they played all the maps and everything, they put Origins right up here. I love Origins. There's a lot of good things about it. I don't get people who hate on Origins. I still think it is an amazing map. It's still going to be an S tier no matter what. There's a lot of stuff to do in it. That's probably the main concern, is that you got to get all the stabs, you got to upgrade all of them, which can be pretty tedious. Like the lightning bow, the lightning staff, I meant. That one's very tedious. Like, you got to go around the map flicking the thing. I have a soft spot for Origins. I think it is amazing. It's very innovative, and the Easter egg is very fun. Very fun. And I can't really think of anything else for bad things of it, which is why I think it goes right here, maybe right here. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's the tier list right there, guys. Moon, I'm gonna put that back up to S tier. Ascension, Buried, Revelations, Kino, Zetsubo, Shang, Darius. No, I'm gonna put Shang down here. Darius the Giant, Call of the Dead, 5. And then it gets into like the kind of iffy area. Town, Nuketown. I can move up Classified. And then D tier, and then F tier. I think that's good. Okay, I'm gonna change one thing, and that is that Nuketown is slightly better than 9. Other than that, I think this is a good tier list. That is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I did go into depth in a couple of these maps, but you know, I think it's needed to get my full opinion on these. I'll leave a link to Denki's channel in the description for his video, and go check that out. I haven't seen it, so hopefully it's good. Yep, I hope you enjoyed, and peace.
Tears falling down at the party. Saddest little baby in the room.